DMT is not just a trip. It's a doorway to the infinite, and how you prepare makes the difference whether you experience clarity or chaos. In this video, I will share how to prepare physically, mentally, and spiritually so that you can meet this medicine with peace, reverence, and intention. If you're new here and you like videos on consciousness, plant medicines, and art, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more videos like this. Little disclaimer, this is simply my own perspective and what has worked for me over the years. Take what works for you and leave what doesn't. And of course, I do not encourage the use of any illegal substances. This is simply for educational purposes, but I hope that if you do choose to do anything like this, you have a safe and beautiful journey. So, why prepare in the first place? Simply put, DMT is one of the most powerful experiences humans can have. And giving the proper preparation will give it the reverence it needs to have an experience that is profound and clear. It's the kind of thing that the more work you put into it beforehand, the more you will get out of the experience. Of course, people do it without any preparation, but DMT really reflects your inner landscape. So building up preparation, grounding yourself, being physically, mentally, and spiritually ready will really help you have the best experience possible and avoid bad trips. Now, how long should one prepare for? Really, the thing is, the more time you put into it, the more of a powerful experience usually you're going to get out, the more profound, because your vibration is going to be higher. You're going to be mentally, physically, and emotionally ready for this experience. So the key is prepare as long as you can. I would say minimum, try at least 3 days, I would say, of really trying. Ideally, a week is a good timeline. If you're really coming from a place that you don't feel your best, a month might be very useful. The preparation itself is a ceremony. The preparation itself is a journey of becoming the best version of yourself. First things first is do your research. Know as much as you can about this substance. Know its safety profile. Know how it impacts the body, its duration, things like that. That way you're not going in blind, unknowing what you're going into. It will help with you feeling comfortable and being able to let go fully. So do thorough research more than just watching this video. Setting intentions, one of the most important parts of preparation. Make sure you are doing this not just because it seems fun, not just out of curiosity, but for a clear reason. So take some time to meditate deeply on why you feel called to this medicine and write it down. Perhaps it's to heal something, some emotional thing, perhaps even some physical thing, some clarity of where it arises. Perhaps it's to gain some creativity, to create a wonderful thing to share with the world. Maybe it's to learn your purpose on how to help humanity. These are just some examples. I usually go in with the intention of getting an idea for an artwork to help raise the collective consciousness, and I create many artworks based on this intention. I'll put some examples here of some of my art if you'd like to check more out. But write down your intention on a piece of paper. Don't have it be vague, have it be physically written down and clear. And then meditate on it, pray on it every day leading up to your ceremony. Meditating on your intention can be one of the most powerful practices, especially just meditating in general. So definitely throw in lots of meditation during your preparation. One of the key things, if you're going to do one single thing to prepare, is write down your intention and meditate every day. Core preparation. You can also do some praying to the divine, to whatever you resonate with. May that be Buddha, Jesus, God, Krishna, Shiva, whoever is within your path. Pray to them every day, your higher self, the cosmos, and say your intentions. Say that you're doing this for pure, clear reasons. You're not just messing around, and that will really help protect you from having a chaotic journey. because you are clear and you're going in there with a purpose. So that when you go in and it's full of crazy mandalas and things are rapidly changing, you are clear and you know why you're there, and you can be stable without getting lost in all the colors and lights. The thing you want to start doing to prepare is being very mindful about what you're consuming. Now, we consume more than just through what we eat. That is just one aspect of what we consume. We consume through all the sense doors. So I want you to spend some time being mindful of what you're consuming through every sense door, starting with what we see. So be mindful about what you're watching. Avoid things of violence, negativity, fear-based content. And if in doubt with all these sense doors, if you can't discern what is high vibrational or low vibrational, then opt for non-consumption. Be mindful of what you listen to. Avoid things with harsh lyrics, very heavy vibrations. Again, sometimes it's best to just not listen to any music leading up to the experience, or very high vibrational music, things like perhaps some binaural beats, some chanting, things like that can be useful. Be aware of what you're reading, what you're seeing on social media. A digital detox leading up to the experience is extremely beneficial, especially with social media, where a lot of the times we can't control what we're about to see because it's by the algorithm. So perhaps taking a little break from social media can be very useful. That way you're not consuming things that are fear-based, violent-based, comparison-based, leading up to your experience. Be mindful of what you're eating. Eat healthy foods, foods that are fresh, that are alive. Try to eat as little processed foods as possible. Eat things that are natural and fresh. That always is helpful. What I recommend is just eating what you define as healthy. Many people have different definitions, and we're not going to go into those details in this video. So just eat natural foods, whole foods, alive foods, fresh foods, what you see as healthy. Lots of fruits and vegetables, that kind of thing, if that works for you in your journey. It can be also useful, especially like a couple days before, to avoid caffeine, especially the day of. If you're someone that really loves their caffeine, at least try to do one day, the day of, with no caffeine consumption, just because that can accelerate the heart and lead to some unnecessary anxiety. We just want to be very calm going into this experience. So again, if in doubt, consume less or limit some consumption, do a detox. That can be very helpful leading up to the experience. And what you do want to be doing is spend some time in nature, spend some time with people that uplift you, spend some time doing things that inspire you. Perhaps go visit the place that you find very spiritual. May that be a temple, a monastery, a church, whatever your definition of connecting to the divine is. Perhaps explore some of that those days leading up to your experience. So diving a little deeper into preparing energetically and emotionally. That again is being very mindful of who we spend time with. We want to spend time with people that recharge us, not that drain us. Of course, not everything we can curate perfectly. Sometimes we have to go to a job and we can't choose who we're around. But when you can decide, choose being around people that uplift you, choose being around places that uplift you, perhaps avoid things like malls or places that perhaps have very intense energy. Not that they're the worst, it's an energy of consumption. Spend time in sacred places, spend time in nature. Go for a walk outside, your favorite hike. Spend some time just admiring some trees, touching grass, that kind of thing is really going to help you energetically be in a beautiful, peaceful place for this journey. Also, energetically, it can be useful to perhaps spend a bit less time focusing on one's appearance. I find this very useful. Now, I know some people, they find this very recharging, so if that's you, continue to do that, but this is mostly coming from some Buddhist practices that have helped me a lot, and spending less time on physical appearance, maybe just for even a couple days before, can be useful for focusing more inwards. Next, you want to do some spiritual purification. Imagine this experience like going to the most sacred temple where all your inner being is going to be revealed and open. And you have to show your full truth because nothing can be hidden in this space. So we want to focus on perhaps doing some things morally that get us to be as purified and as peaceful as possible. Now, this can involve things like avoiding lying, avoiding harming others, avoiding killing even insects just for a couple days. It'll help you out. Avoid stealing, avoid consuming substances just to give DMT its proper reverence. So if you consume alcohol, cannabis, things like that, take a break in your preparation. Really sit with who you are on your own with sobriety so that you can be as prepared on your own for this medicine as you can. These choices refine your vibration, and these are not limitations. They are reverence for the medicine so that you can be as happy, as pure, as prepared for this as possible. Now, another one that can be very helpful if it resonates with you is avoiding any sexual energy during your preparation. If you're preparing for 3 days, for a week, for a month, decide how long you're going to seriously prepare. Don't have it be black and white. That way you can't slack. Say, I'm going to prepare for a week, let's say. And in that week, avoid any sexual energy. This will help preserve your inner energies and conserve life force energy. If this resonates with you, it's a very powerful practice that can help you for the preparation. Another good thing for spiritual purification is to tie up all loose ends that you can within reason. This could be like if you have any grudges, just let them go. Perhaps call your parents, tell them you love them. Tie up loose ends. You can almost see this journey, not to scare you, but it's almost like you're about to die. It's going to be an ego death. So if you are having this powerful ego death and you're still like, oh wait, I still need to do this, I still need to tell this person this, you don't want to be distracted by those things. You want to be able to let go fully into the experience, into pure consciousness. So tie off those loose ends before your journey. If you feel like something big like that's going to come up, then go ahead and address it before you do this medicine. Let's talk about preparing your space. It's really important for you to do this journey somewhere you feel thoroughly safe. Do not do it somewhere where you feel even the slightest hint of fear, of uncomfortableness, because that will end up coming up in your journey. You won't be able to fully relax and let go into that space. I personally like to do it in my own home. That's what I feel best in. You want to make sure the space is thoroughly clean. Do your dishes, organize a bit, give it the proper reverence. If you're doing it at a family member's house, a friend's house that you're very comfortable with, that you feel very safe in, then make sure you clean their space for them, clean it together. Just make sure the space is clean. It's a very powerful, sacred thing you're going into, so you don't want to have dishes. And again, it also comes into that feeling of things being undone. You want to tie off loose ends, and if the house is a mess, you don't want to be thinking of that in your journey. The outer mirrors the inner. It has an impact. If your space is chaotic, it's going to feel a bit chaotic inside. And make sure it's a place where you'll be undisturbed and is quiet. So if you have pets, very loud pets, perhaps have someone babysit them. If you have children, have someone babysit them. Just make sure that you can fully let go, that there's going to be no one disturbing you. You're going to have that quiet, that peace. No one's going to come knocking on your door as far as you can control. Just safe, clear space to fully let go. Keep the lighting dim and low. Use very warm light bulbs. Ideally, usually these ceremonies are done at night. I like to sometimes do them even in pure darkness. So keep the lighting very low. You don't want to feel like you're doing it in fluorescent lights in a hospital. So just turn the lights nice and down low. Sometimes I even like to wear eye covers for the journey to really go inwards. Something I really like to do is to set up a floor bed. So you can put a mattress on the ground, you can just put a bunch of blankets and stuff. Just because, especially if you're doing it by yourself, it's unlikely, but sometimes I'll move around and I don't want to feel like there's even a chance of me falling off the bed. So setting up a nice comfy floor bed is very nice. If you're being a bit traditional and you want to follow the traditions of the ayahuasca tribes, doing it on the full moon is very powerful. If it aligns to do it on a full moon, it's the high tide of the soul and can bring that extra spiritual cherry on top for your journey. Next, create an altar. So you have your little floor bed, you have your dim lights, make a little altar. This could be things like putting some images of some spiritual being that inspire you. For me, I like to have Buddha and Shiva and Jesus and all of them on my altar. I like to get some flowers, put whatever, you can put some photos of your family. Maybe I like to even put a photo of me as a baby, as a little girl, just to honor that inner child. All those kinds of things. Make a nice altar with whatever resonates with you. Put those on there, whatever is your personal preference. And if possible, it is very useful, especially the first time doing it, to have a trip sitter. It does help with safety. I like to usually have my husband there, but whoever you resonate with that is very trusting. This can be like a very close sibling, a partner, close family member, your best friend. Just make sure they're high vibrational and they're going to hold the energy down with peace. Try to think of who do you know that's very responsible, very, very peaceful, very calm, and can really hold that energy down. Ask them to be your trip sitter and make sure they watch this video too and prepare properly so they know what you're getting into. And have a piece of paper and a pen next to your floor bed can be very useful. So as soon as you come out, you can write those things down. What happens with DMT, it is like dreams where at first they're like, oh, how could I ever forget it? But then after a few minutes, it starts to sometimes dissipate. As soon as you come out, it is very, very useful to write things down, because as you will come to see, after some days, some months, you will forget most of it. So writing it down can really help with your recall. All right, so the day of, you have your space set up, everything's ready, you've been preparing. Now you want to make sure that day you have been fasting for 4 hours. Because really only one of the ways that DMT can be dangerous is if you're very full and you're by yourself and you go really deep and you happen to purge. That's the way it can be kind of dangerous. Make sure you fasted for 4 hours. So that last meal, make it something fresh, healthy. Have a smoothie bowl, a salad, something like that. And then wait a solid 4 hours with just having some water. Maybe an hour before, you just have a light amount of water. Don't be dehydrated, but don't be full in any way, especially if you're doing it by yourself. Then reread your intentions. Go to your altar. Really meditate on your beautiful altar you'd created. Share reverence to all those spiritual beings on your altar that inspire you. And have that intention so clear, so in your heart, in your being, and feeling fully prepared. Some nervousness is totally normal, even for people that have done it so many times like myself. Some little pre-journey jitters are normal. But don't feel obligated, even if you've prepared for a while. If you have a strong feeling in your gut of resistance, of I shouldn't do this, then listen to that. It's okay. Sometimes the preparation is the journey. But if you just have some jitters, usually that's normal. Even the most proficient DMT explorers get some pre-journey jitters. Make sure your phone is off, all your devices are off, nothing's going to be making noise. Some people like to play a little music, something like some soft hertz, especially if you're feeling a little extra nervous. Something like some angelic sounds can be useful, but in my opinion, silence is best, because then silence is the most divine. And okay, right before doing it, spend some time meditating. Do a little meditation. whatever is comfortable for you. I like to meditate for a solid hour if possible before leading up to it. But if you're not proficient with meditation, 5 minutes is sufficient of just focusing on your breath, being present, grounding yourself. And then right before you do it, one of the best things you can do is do some pranayama, some breath work, some Wim Hof if you'd like. You can just pull up a video on YouTube of Breath of Fire, or I like to do the Wim Hof. You can look up Tumo or Wim Hof. But follow that video, maybe practice a few times before the day of, but do some breath work. This will really help your lung capacity. That way you can take those big hits required to really, if you're trying to have a breakthrough experience, you really got to want it. That's the thing with this medicine. You got to have the technique down, and you got to really give it your full lung capacity. So doing some Wim Hof will really expand your lungs. And I like to do it like literally until the last thing I do is I'm doing the Wim Hof breathing, which you can look it up and see how to do that. That's what really gets one to break through. Even though sometimes a lighter journey is what one needs. So listen to yourself, but if you're really set on having what is called a breakthrough experience, then the Wim Hof is one of the best tips you can do to really get you there. So after the experience, you laid down, you let go into your floor bed, you had an amazing, wonderful, profound journey, and when you start to feel yourself coming back, just stay there. Just stay laying down on your back for a few minutes. Really come back to your body. Perhaps you feel some feelings of vibrations. That's totally normal. Even sometimes you get a little shake. But stay there. Let yourself reintegrate and come out very slowly. And journal. Write it down. Sketch things out. Write it out. That's very helpful. Again, DMT has a tendency to fade very quickly. Even if you're like, oh, I could never forget that. Trust. Write it down. It'll help you out. And perhaps avoid, if possible, jumping on your phone right away. Now, if you have some loved ones that are like, hey, right after, just let me know you're okay, then do that. But for the most part, avoid jumping on social media, things like that. Just keep the energy sacred for the rest of the evening, if possible. Maybe meditate again, or laugh, cry, draw, paint, make some music, dance, celebrate the beauty of this existence. And if you want me to make a full video on DMT integration, let me know in the comments and I'll do that if enough of you want me to, and we can go into more detail. Truly, preparing for DMT is preparing to meet the deepest part of yourself. And the clearer your heart, the quieter your mind, and the purer your body, the deeper you will go into this journey. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment which part of the preparation you resonated most with. And if you'd like to check out my art inspired by DMT, plant medicines, and other mystical experiences, check it out at julianagarcesart.com, link in the description. I got lots of other videos on plant medicines and guided meditations if you want to learn how to meditate for your journey. I'd love to have you listen to one of those. Thank you so much for watching, and may you have a blissful, profound, and safe journey.